It's been a very difficult year, and in spite of all of the things that have happened this year, we as Christian believers must still be prayerful minded. We must still be encouraged. We must still hold to the promise that God has promised us. I'll be the first to admit that we've experienced some things in 2020 that we never thought that we would have to experience and endure. When you look at our leadership in government, it's out of whack, as the old saints would say. There's no togetherness there. The right is against the left, or the blue is against the red, and the red is against the blue. Everybody's trying to seek and find political gain, win a popularity contest, and all of the above. And yet we are living in the midst of a pandemic. We're living in a very crucial time. Days and nights are uncertain. Loved ones are uncertain. Saints, church folk, love towards each one another is wax cold. The Bible talk about that. Early on, it talk about saints will become cold towards each other, paraphrasing, not caring for one another. We see it in the church. We see it in society. We see it in our community, where everybody now seems to be wax cold. Nobody have concerns for the other person or the other party. It's all about me and less about you. And it appears in 2020 that everybody is trying to win a popularity contest, trying to outdo one or the other. And as well, I will admit, the same thing is in the church. For decades and for years, you see church leaders and members trying to outdo the other, and the other try to do them. And you wonder what happened to the anointing. You wonder what's happening to trying to please God. That is not the aim now. It is not the main aim to please God no more, far as Christians are concerned. And even in this nation which we live, in God we trust, it's not about pleasing God. God is now on the back burner. And I'm not saying that God allowed anything bad to happen to anyone. I'm not saying that. I never would suggest that. But one thing I know and I can see from reading the scriptures, from listening to the old saints back in the old church, speaking of these days were coming. And believe it or not, the worst is yet to come. And I'm not talking about the pandemic. I'm not talking about Corona-19. I'm talking about far as Christians are concerned. A Christian person, if you really going to be a Christian, the time will come to be a real Christian, because the times are coming. They're going to snatch away the Bibles. They're going to start dictating when to go to church and who to worship. And if you're not in ministry, if you're not in the church or in ministry for soul saving, you better get out now. Because the devil is making a mockery of so-called saints, so-called preachers, so-called leaders, deacons, missionaries, and mothers. If you're in it for a popularity gain, if you're in it to pay your car note and to get a big house, go on a cruise ship or large vacations or what have you, you're in it for the wrong reason. And the time has come, and it's yet more to come. The devil is going to expose people, and God is going to allow them to be exposed. We're going to see more churches. A lot of leaders are going to fall, not because that's something for us to brag over. No. But a lot of this stuff we've been warned about years and decades ago, that these days were coming. But nevertheless, beyond all of that to come and all of that that has happened, we must remain faithful. The church of God, not an organization, but the people of God,